Hi guys, another little podcast from us tonight on the project. We've got a couple of guests. Well, we've got one guest and we've got one regular person, but she doesn't come on the podcast very often. So first of all, we're just going to say hello to our Bex.
Hi everyone.
How you doing, Beck?
Yeah, good, not too bad. You?
Here she is, the silent assassin, the girl that sits behind the scenes and wields the sword. Everything good, love?
Yeah, all good. Yeah.
Good, good. And tonight we've got a special guest with us, former Premier League referee. It's big Mark Halsey. How you doing, son?
I'm great. Hi,
Yay.
Beck. Hi, Steve. You okay?
Yeah, I'm all
Yeah,
right,
good,
mate. Yeah,
thanks.
Yeah,
you're looking well, actually.
I think both our teams are at the wrong end of the table at the moment. So hopefully
Oh,
we can
yeah.
climb that
For those that don't
league
know,
table.
Mark's a QPR fan, unfortunately for him.
Go on, yours.
Mate, what do you reckon to Andre Dazelle?
Yeah, listen, I don't think he was a hit at Rangers. Sometimes as a play, you don't achieve what you want to achieve at a certain club, and you have to move on. And I think that's what's happened with Dazelle. But I'm not sure how he's doing for you.
He looks really good, actually.
Does he?
Yeah, we're quite impressed with him.
Well, it's amazing what a new club, when you go to new surrounds, a new club, it sort of kickstarts your career, doesn't it? So
Yeah, it can. And some players are better at other clubs than others, aren't they? You know, it's the way it is.
and it's sometimes like players, it all depends on the manager, how he treats them. Some need a bit of loving and arm around them. Some need a kick up the backside, don't they? So,
Yeah. Mark, how long have you been out of the Premier League now?
2014, I retired. So yeah, it flies by. A lot of people ask me, do I miss it? I miss the banter on the field of play, but I don't miss the politics. I wasn't the one for doing as I was told, and
Yeah,
and
there's a lot of politics in refereeing, isn't there? And I think a lot of people don't
there is,
realise
yeah,
exactly what goes on behind the scenes, you know.
yeah. I think it's like everywhere, every industry. If your face fits, you'll get on. If it doesn't, then there's always someone that wants to put you down or whatever. So, but listen, I had from 1996 right up till 2014 as a professional referee. So
Yeah.
I couldn't have been that bad to last that long, could I? So I always remember a few of my games at St Andrews. Used to love going there. I think one of my first games I refereed most probably night. I think it was back in the late 1990s, Birmingham Bolton. When
Okay.
Sam Allardyce was in charge at Bolton, and I think it was I think it might have been around about 1999.
Yeah.
I think you beat Bolton that day. I sent off Good Johnson for Bolton that
You
day.
sent him off.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
sent him off. Yeah,
Yeah.
for a poor
Yeah.
challenge. Don't forget, and I always remember when I come back from my illness and I refereed my first season back. I refereed Birmingham Chelsea. And I think Birmingham won 1-0 that day. It was live on TV, and I always remember having a massive altercation with Ashley Cole on the pitch, and then in the tunnel after half time, we nearly come to blows, but we kissed and made up in the second half.
Yeah. Don't be kissing Ashley Cole, mate. He's one of our coaches now.
What is he? Is he there? He's gone there? Is he?
Yeah, he was here with someone else that you love as well, Wayne Rooney.
Oh, of course, yeah. Is he still there?
No, mate, he's gone. Rooney has, but
He's gone. No, but I mean,
yeah,
I know Rooney's gone, but is Ashley still there?
Ashley Cole stayed with Mugger, yeah.
Oh, good. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
We all have we're all obviously really upset with what's happened with Tony Mowbray. I mean, I don't think anyone really knows what's wrong, but obviously something that's going to keep him out for quite a while. He's a lovely bloke, isn't he, mate?
Well, yeah, he is. I mean, I've refereed him many years ago with his teams with Mark Venus. I mean, they're a duo, aren't they? They're like Batman and Robin together, aren't they? They're joined at the hips wherever they go, and they're really two good people. I mean, I was surprised when they got rid of. Was it Peter Eustace that was there?
John Eustace.
John Eustace. Sorry, and I thought he'd done a remarkable job. I mean, I think he was in sixth place when he sort of. They moved him on. I was really surprised. I was really surprised. I wouldn't have minded him at Rangers. But obviously we got a good chap in Marty Cifuentes now, so he's doing a good job for us.
Yeah, John Eustace would have been a good fit for you, I think. It's just
yeah.
club for John Eustace, but he's gone to Blackburn, of course. So we hope he fails miserably there. But I like John Eustace, but I don't. He isn't quite dynamic enough, I don't think.
Yeah. Well, it remains to be seen what he does at that club. It's a hard club, isn't it, to please? So they've gone through managers like there's been, like there's nothing but
bit like us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right then. Rach, come on, you've got a question for Mark, haven't you?
Who?
Right.
Okay.
Bloody hell. Beck, sorry. Getting me arse mixed up. You're right.
Well, actually, it's not
I know
from
what
me.
it is.
It is from Rachel, one of our moderators. She asked, what do you think about the lack of support for grassroots referees regarding getting new ones into the game?
I think at the present, I think we've got a massive problem with grassroots referees. I feel for them, because obviously what goes on at the top filters down. And I think there's a big lack of discipline at the top, the highest level, with managers and players setting examples. They have to set an example. And I think that they're failing that. And because what we're seeing it now, we're seeing it filter down to, and I think obviously there's society plays a big part, but I think that we have a massive problem with society today. I often get people texting me or messaging me on social media about, problems they've had, especially young referees, when we have, like 14 and 15-year-olds going out to referee guys that are younger than them, teams that are younger than them, with parents and coaches, and they're regularly getting abused. And I think it's a sorry state, and I think that the county FAs and the leagues have got to toughen up, and we've got to discipline these clubs and the parents and the coaches a lot more than we're doing now. I believe that every club, every grassroots club, should have a mentor that's appointed by the club that looks after that referee the moment he arrives to the moment he goes home. And if there's any problems with any parents, any coaches, and then that mentor reports that, or that mentor can remove the spectators or the parents from that game, and obviously report the club, the coach or the manager to the club committee. And we until we start coming down hard on these guys, we're gonna lose referees, because without a referee we haven't got a game. Yeah,
agreed. Yeah. How did you get into refereeing, and how old were you?
By chance, actually. I played semi-professional football from 16 when I got rejected at Tottenham. Fell into non-league football at Hertford Town, Cambridge City, St Albans, Welwyn Garden City. And I sort of played there I played non-league football till I was about 28, and it was a good friend of mine that played and then got into refereeing. He was a poacher turned gamekeeper. It was unbelievable. I used to play with him on a Sunday, and he was one of the most dirtiest players I've ever come across. And his house backed onto our cricket pitch, because in every summer I played cricket. I love cricket. I love me cricket. I played club cricket. I was captain of our first 11. And I just loved it, and we were good friends. Since he's sadly not with us any longer, he passed away during COVID. And he just said he just used to walk around the boundary when we were batting. The home side, whoever was batting, used to walk around the boundary, putting the world to rights. And he used to wait for me at the end of his garden, because it backed right onto the pitch, and used to say, "Mark, why don't you become a referee?" And I said, "Russ, I've got absolutely no interest in becoming a referee. You can stick that where the sun don't shine." And but I was falling out of love with football. And I was wondering what I could do. Did I want to become a coach, a manager? Because my brother's a manager at a Southern League club, where FC. And I decided to, perhaps I thought about it, and I thought, well, do you know what? Give something back into refereeing, into football, become a referee. And I started, and I did. I said to him, if I can pass my exam without going to the 8-week course, then I'll have a go. So they allowed me to just do the exam. I passed, and I went into Sunday. I played Saturdays, refereeing Sunday mornings in the Welwyn Hatfield Sunday League, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I never looked back. I just went from from strength to strength. I think in 2000, I think it was 1988, 89, I passed, and by 1996 I was refereeing on the Football League. And then 2000, I was on the Premier League, promoted to Premier League, promoted to the FIFA list. So within what 6-7 years, I was refereeing at the highest level, and I loved it. I think because I played the game, I understand the game. Sometimes it's not always about the laws of the game; it's about knowing the game of football, showing empathy, showing empathy for the game. And so I think that listen, don't mean to say every footballer that gives up and goes into refereeing that you're going to be a good referee. I think I understood the game, and I think it's all about the way you treat the players, the way you talk to the players, the way you engage with the players, and it's your recognition of offences that you get that respect. I always remember walking out at Stoke City in a Premier League game, and Kenwyn Jones, I was walking out with Kenwyn Jones to warm up, and he put his arm around me and he said to me, "When we saw you, Mark, we were so pleased because we thought it was that idiot Lee Mason refereeing today." So I didn't know what to say because Lee was a bit of a mate of mine at the time. So, but listen, that's how you gain your respect and your accuracy in your decision making. And I think I think Jose Raminho always said to me that you were the 23rd player on the field of play. Obviously, being a player's referee as I was.
Yeah, and I think it's a good point that if you played the game, I think it makes you a better referee. It's the same with supporters, isn't it? Supporters often, you can tell when supporters, like on our group, for instance, you get supporters making comments and you can tell they've never played the game. It's very obvious,
Yeah, I mean, obviously a lot of them blinkered as well, aren't they? So,
of course, yeah. Mark, did you, as a ref, did you get? I mean, obviously refs always get a lot of abuse. Did abuse ever bother you in a big way?
No, not really. You got to be a referee at the top, the highest level. You've got to be mentally tough and mentally strong. And it never really used to bother me. I mean, when you're actually on the field of play, you're refereeing, you're so full of concentration, you don't really hear what's going on around you. You just fully concentrate on, refereeing what's in front of you. Because if you switch off, for that moment you could lose the game and make a massive error. So exactly. I didn't really get that much stick. I think the only time I got a lot of stick was from Gillingham fans at the playoff final with Man City in at Wembley. So they weren't happy with me added time that I played. But listen,
what was the final score? That ended on penalties, did it?
Yeah, it did. It was 2-2 after extra time because Gillingham were 2-0 up. And I think about the 90th and 92nd minute, Man City got come back and got 2 goals, went into extra time, and then penalties. And City, I think, won 4-2 on penalties.
Who was their keeper then, City?
It was Nicky Weather. I remember him making a save, and he's going on a run right on the pitch, and I'm running off, sprinting off down the tunnel with Tony Pulis chasing me.
Yeah, it's Nicky Weather.
I mean, over the years, I had a good rapport with Tony. We got on really well. I've refereed his teams many times, especially when he was at Stoke City in the Premier League. So we got on very, very well.
Yeah. So going back to Birmingham, who was your favourite manager at Birmingham when you used to come?
I think you've had a few, haven't you?
Bloody hell, mate! You've got a load to choose from.
I think I got on well with Steve Bruce when he was manager. I always remember doing one of probably the hardest games I've ever done at Villa Park when Birmingham went to Villa Park and won 2-0, and I sent off 2 Villa players, one being Dion Dublin for when he nutted Robbie Savage.
Mate, something. You was a bit of a legend to all Blues fans that night, don't you?
Well, I tell you what, it was a really, really tough game. I mean, I think we had stoppages in the game, fans coming on the pitch, and the 2 sending offs that I had. I always remember the Dion Dublin one when Dion's gone in really late on Robbie, and Robbie's jumped up, and then I've got in between, and then Dion's gone and sort of head butted him, and he's gone down like a sack of spuds, Robbie. And I always remember said Dion come up to me and says, "I'm sorry, Mark, for that." I said, "Listen, Dion, I'm just sorry, I've got to send you off for headbutting Robbie Savage. So, but obviously he walked off, and but it was a cracking game. I always remember in the dressing room after the game that we was held back in the dressing room. We weren't allowed to leave. We had to have a police escort back to our hotel. Our family had to have a police escort because there was so much going on outside. And I always remember a few days later, I mean, Graham Taylor was the manager then, I think, of Villa, and he was very complimentary. And I got a letter from Steve Bruce. I still got it. He sent me saying, he thought I handled the game excellently, and thank you for obviously what happened in the 90 minutes. He thought I'd done very well, and praised me and my team for the way we handled the game. So it was nice to get recognised from a manager.
It's got to be really hard to referee a game like that when you've got so much going on in the crowd, because I don't know if that's the only Birmingham Villa derby you've ever done. I think it probably is, isn't it?
Yeah, it was, to be fair. It was.
And it's absolutely toxic, it really is.
Oh, well, tell me about it. I know. I mean, yeah, that's why I said to you, just got to stay focused, because if you switch off, then something's going to happen, and you're gonna miss it.
Yeah. And of course, Robbie Savage there. I had a guy actually ask us, Damien Kelly. He asked me, how come Robbie Savage only ever got sent off once?
He
only got sent off once. Yeah, but you know him. I mean, did he have a certain way about him that, like?
Yeah. Listen, with players like Robbie. I mean, I refereed him many times. When he was, he was at Leicester. When he was at Blackburn, he was with you, and you sort of, in the tunnels as well. You speak to players before you come out, and you have a little word in their ear. You say, listen, don't do nothing silly today. I need you to help me. I don't want you doing anything silly, otherwise I will deal with you. And there was that. I mean, with me, there was that banter on the pitch with the players. Listen, but players. You see players using shop floor language. I use shop floor language on that field of play, because that is the shop floor, and
of course.
Language goes on industrial language goes on the field of play. And referees use it as well as players, because that's all they understand. I mean, I spent 12, 13 years training full time at Bolton Wanderers. I used to referee the training games, and the players used to have a right go at me, especially most of the. I mean, like the players, when you refereed those training games and they weren't happy with a decision, they would have a right go at you, and just that reflects on their training. They take that into match days, and you've got to understand that. So, and that's when you just got to. I mean, unless it's directed at you. I mean, when players used to come at me with industrial language, and it was directed at me, because normally it's just with just saying things in passing, and it was. And I used to say, sorry, what did you say? And they would go, and if they said, you heard what I said, then I would take action. But then they would say, oh, I'm sorry, Mark, I'm just frustrated. And I would say, listen, no problem. Let's just get on with it. Let's cut it out, no more. And that's the way you've got to be with players. And I look at today's standards of refereeing. I think their standards have gone down. I don't necessarily blame the referees. I blame the training, the coaching, the education, and the leadership and direction of the PGR management. Because you can still referee with common sense today, but it comes from the leadership and direction of the management.
That leads on to another question I had from one of our moderators, actually, Sean Baldock, and he asked me, is there a difference in the way VAR is applied in Scotland to the way it is in England?
No, listen, it shouldn't be.
Their decisions seem to come much faster than ours.
Yeah, listen, I think there's an IFAB protocol, and that is the same for the world over. Whatever league in all over the world that uses VAR, there's an IFAB protocol that everybody has to follow. And at present, there is a lot of what would I say? Not indecision. What's the word I'm looking for? Inconsistencies. There's a lot of inconsistencies with the way it's operated in the Premier League. I mean, I don't see a lot of Scottish football, to be fair. I mean, obviously there's not a lot of it on our TV screens, but when I do see it, I see VAR getting involved where they shouldn't get involved in Scotland and definitely in the Premier League. You know, I look at the inconsistencies. I mean, you can see this weekend where we saw, Gilmore sent off for Brighton?
Yeah.
And Harry Maguire not sent off. And we saw the one Casido yesterday in the Liverpool game. Now, one got sent off, two didn't get sent off. Now, you could argue there, should a VAR got involved in all of those?
Yeah.
If they don't get in, so that's where we get the inconsistencies. I mean, we look at handball. Handball for me, I honestly believe that the referees at the present do not know what a deliberate handball is. I don't think they understand that natural and unnatural positioning of the arms in certain phases of play. I mean, we saw 2 penalties the other weekend given at Luton, the Luton v Sheffield United game. Oh, never ever been penalties. Never ever been penalties, and they should be getting involved. And for me, I think some referees they're re-refereeing the game, and I would like to see a referee be strong. I mean, look at Chris Kavanagh. I think it was the Crystal Palace Everton game where Calvert-Lewin was sent off for a challenge because the referee initiated recommended a review for a challenge. It was never ever a serious foul play challenge. It was never ever a challenge that endangered the player's safety. Never. And VAR should never have got involved. Chris Kavanagh didn't even give a free kick. It wasn't a free kick. It possibly could have been, but it wasn't a yellow card. It wasn't a red card. So why have VAR got involved? And Chris Kavanagh's gone over there. He's looked at it. He's got to be mentally tough and mentally strong to stay with his on-field decision. But not because what's happening is they're putting it into their brain that you've got. You know, they're telling them, oh, this is a poor challenge. This is a red card. This is a serious foul play challenge. It's a red card. Have a look. So straight away they're going over there thinking, oh, this is a red card. Or
as soon as I look at that screen, I think the decision is more or less made.
It is, yeah, it is. And they're putting a decision into their mind. Yeah. And I just want to see more referees be mentally tough and say, no, I'm sticking with my on-field decision.
Yeah. But, Mark, I mean, I've got a question from Val Collins here, and it sort of hits on that. And it is, so if they did, for instance, override decisions like that, is that going to affect the marking for the referee? Because referees get marked, don't they?
Well, in the Championship and in the Premier League at the moment, they have an evaluations. They don't have an assessor at the game, so they have an evaluation. So I understand that if a decision is made with VAR, it doesn't affect their mark, even if they've not given it on field, and then and then they give it after looking at VAR. But I think VAR has made referees lazy. I think I think they're not refereeing what's in front of them. They're not making that decision straight away. They're thinking, oh, if I'm not giving it as a penalty, there's a penalty incident. They don't give it. They think, if I've got that wrong, VAR will bail me out. You want to see referees come in, give the decision.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because it's like someone else asking, Damien Kelly again, who's asking the question that, players sometimes will position themselves to get fouled. And it often happens outside the box and inside the box, of course, as well. But the refs often bottle the decision to give a penalty where they would probably give a free kick if it was outside the box.
No, listen, I can only speak for myself.
You can only speak for you.
I can only speak for myself, and I would, you give as you see it, and sometimes things happen, right on the edge of the box, and sometimes you're not sure if it's in or out. And prior to VAR, if I wasn't sure if it was in, I would give it outside. I'd give it outside. If I had any doubts, if I was 100% sure it was inside, I'd give it inside. If I wasn't sure if that was, remember the line is the referees. So if anything happens on the line, it's still a penalty. Or if if a challenge goes in and you blow and give a free kick, then it's a penalty. But sometimes I had times where it was that close. I gave it just outside. But I think there was a couple of occasions, if we had VAR, then it would have resulted in as a penalty, because I was unsure.
So do you, when you make a decision like that and you realise afterwards that you were incorrect, how do you reflect on that yourself? I mean, does that give you, is that like, self-reflection is a good way of teaching yourself, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I used to go, obviously after every game we'd get a DVD. I'd go home and sort of look at it and watch it. Obviously it would be on Match of the Day that evening, so you're hoping you're not making too many errors, because they'll be talking about you. But I used to go home and obviously watch the game and see because you never stop learning. From game to game, there's always something you can learn from. And I always used to look at that, and if I had sort of decisions like that where perhaps I gave it just outside, it was just on the line, I would sort of look at my fitness, my positioning. Did I make that? Did I get the correct viewing angle? Did I go wide enough, or should I come inside a bit more so I could get that ultimate viewing angle? So yeah, you never stop learning. You're always beating yourself up.
Yeah, I mean, I always think a good referee is one that you don't notice.
Well, absolutely.
You know, definitely. So, Beck, you had a question, didn't you, about the ladies' game?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a controversial one, I think. That has caused quite a lot of controversial discussions amongst all football fans. Rebecca Walsh, she became the first female referee to referee the men's game in the Premier League. What are your views on that? Do you think that this is a good step up for women, or do you think that it should be men refereeing men's games and women refereeing women's games?
No, listen, look, we've seen it with Stephanie Frappart in France and refereeing in the Champions League. Listen, it shouldn't be male or female. It should be a referee. Is that referee good enough to referee at the highest level? Have they done well? Are they high up in the merit list, or are they not? So if they are good enough, then they should be refereeing at the highest level. Whether, for me, I'm not worried about male or female. Is that referee good enough? End of.
Yeah.
There's
a lot of controversy surrounding it, isn't there?
Well, yeah, there is. But listen, there will always be controversy, and we're seeing it all the time on social media with females in co-commentaries or on being pundits on the TV. Now, there's lots of good. As I said, it's exactly the same as a referee. Are those pundits good enough to do that job?
Right.
If they are, then they should be doing it. If they're not, they should be wiped off.
Well,
not just about ticking boxes.
An opinion's an opinion, of course. But I mean, some of the stuff that Joey Barton's come out with is a little bit.
Yeah. Listen, I know. I mean, I refereed Joey many times for different football clubs, and Joey's Joey. You take what he says with a pinch of salt. Listen, everyone's entitled to their opinion. I'm not saying I necessarily agree with what he says. I think I just think he's been a bit naive, I think, isn't he? Joey used to say things that he shouldn't do on a football pitch, but it's personally, I don't agree with what he's come out with, but that's up to him, isn't it? I'm not going to sit here and slag someone off or about what he says on social media.
And that history follows him, doesn't it?
Absolutely, as I said, people look at things things that Joey's done on the football pitch, the things he's done on nights out, on players' nights out. So, listen, everybody's entitled to an opinion. Don't mean to say that we all agree with his opinion.
No, of course not. Mark, I'm going to ask you a question now, right? You've refereed a lot of very good players, haven't you? Which
Yes.
players have really stood out to you as a referee? Who's done things that's made you think while you're refereeing, or even said to them, "Well done"? I've seen referees clap some players, you know, when they've done something. I don't know if that's really the thing you should do, but I think you probably can't help it sometimes.
No, listen. What I mean, sometimes I was a player. I love football. I'm a football fan, and sometimes you look at some of the passes, the goals that go on or go in, and you think, gee, yeah, what a goal. I mean, I remember being the referee for I think it was Alan Shearer's wonder goal. I think it was at Newcastle against Everton. I think it was the second goal where he scored that 25-yard screamer, and I remember it. I was right behind him, and I just said, "That's a goal. That's a goal." I shouted, "That's a goal. That's in." Because I was right behind it, and I shouted, I said, "That's a goal!" And I mean, what a strike! And as he came around about, I went, great goal, Alan." I just shook his hand, didn't get caught. But I mean, that was. I mean, yeah. I think it'd be unfair for me to come out and say, you know, who the best player. I'm not going to come out and say the Premier League, because there was many great players.
Oh yeah,
I play. I mean, but I think if you're looking from outside the Premier League, I think one of the greatest players I've refereed is Zinedine Zidane. I was refereeing an international match, Belgium and France. Oh, yeah. What a player! What a player! What a player!
He is a great player. Or was. Yeah. So what do you think about the new wonder kid in Spain?
He's doing well, isn't he? He's doing very, very well. I mean, obviously started at your club.
Yeah.
I think he's been a wonder. And Bellingham, he's been brilliant. He's been fantastic. He's great. He's English. You know, playing in England as well for England, the team. But hopefully he won't pick up any serious injuries for the Euros.
I mean, he makes us so proud as Birmingham supporters, not just for the fact that he's such a good player, but his maturity for his age. You know,
absolutely,
and the way he comes across, and to go to Real Madrid. And literally have the club in his hand the way he has. I mean, you know, Mark, we see people here, don't we, with with the Real Madrid shirts on.
Yeah.
With Bellingham on the back and the number
That's
5.
It, yeah. Well, Lucy loves him, and Lucy said to me, you know, my daughter, obviously she lives. People that don't know, she lives here in Spain. She's fluent in Spanish. She said, "Oh, Dad, if he wants me to teach him Spanish, I'll go up there and teach him about learning Spanish." I said, "Sorry, darling. I think they'll have someone to do that already."
Yeah, but he's such a great lad and a good family as well. You know.
Yeah.
There's so many of those sort of prodigious players coming out that don't handle it as well as Bellingham has. I mean, he's a dream, isn't he? And I think he made the right move when he went to Dortmund.
Yeah, I think he did. I mean, it was a stepping stone, wasn't it? I think he's gone from Birmingham to Dortmund. To then, you know, obviously you see talent in a player, don't you? When they're coming through the academies, you see that talent, don't you? I think that was, but from Birmingham to Dortmund, that was that stepping stone to go to Dortmund and then go to Real Madrid. I was surprised that a Premier League club didn't come in and take him. To be fair,
they tried. Yeah, Man United came in for him. They had Alex Ferguson actually went in to meet him to push him over the line, and he still decided to go to Dortmund. I think
did I hear the villains coming for him as well? Was that incorrect?
Nah, I'll tell you what, he'd never go there. I'll tell you that now. There's no way he's going down.
He never goes there.
I just
as much as we do.
I just want to see your face there. I just want to see what you said.
Hey, listen, mate, we've got to come to your place yet.
Yeah, I know, mate. And I just hope we get 3 points because we owe you from. I know we got 1-1. We won all up at your place, weren't we?
Yeah.
Was it 1-1? Yeah, it was. It was Friday night game, wasn't it? 1-1 up at your place.
Yeah. It was quite, but you've had a mare with. I mean, your managers this season.
I mean, I feel sorry for the manager now. Cifuentes. He's got his. FFP. He can't. I mean, we brought in a couple of players. I think it was Hodge and Frey, and they've done well, but we just haven't got the money. And it's such a shame because it's a wonderful football club, wonderful. I mean, my family from East Acton, Shepherd's Bush, and my uncle lived in Loftus Road, and we used to come out of the house straight into Loftus Road, and I was there every other week. And we've just lost one of our legends, Stanley Bowles.
Yeah,
what a player! I used to love going to watch. He was a genius. He was a genius to watch, and I was just lucky enough to, young enough and to go and watch him play, because he was a fabulous player. He was a bit naughty off the pitch. That was that's what made him. That's what makes players. It's just a shame he didn't play many more games for England, because I think he had the ability, and I think he would walk into any Premier League side today.
Yeah,
there was an awful lot of really good talents about in those days.
Oh,
absolutely. Didn't actually play for England. I think they were too good. They were rebels, weren't they, in England? The FA,
I think yesterday's player would have easily got into Premier League sides today, and I think today's players wouldn't have got into the professional ranks back in the day.
You know what amazes me when they show games from like 20 years ago, and you look at the pitches.
I know. Do you watch that match that they revisited?
Yeah,
the pitches, unbelievable, aren't they?
Baseball ground.
Yeah.
But when could you imagine some of today's pampered Premier League players playing on a surface like that?
That's the trouble. I mean, they don't do nothing for themselves, do they? I mean, I saw it firsthand. I've seen it firsthand where they have a player liaison that does everything, that sorts out all their bills, sorts out all their, when they move to a club, sorts out their lodgings or their new houses, and that's what today's come. As I say, they don't do anything for themselves, but that's the way it is. That's the way it is.
Agents manufacture a lot of the moves as well, don't they?
Absolutely,
we have people coming onto our group and saying, like, so and so's got 6 months left on his contract. He must be playing now to get himself in the shop window. The deal's probably done already for 6 months' time.
Yeah, and then they're getting a fat check for out of it as well, aren't they?
If they're free of contract, of course, signing on fees and that. Right. Well. Listen, Mark. Beck, do you want to ask Mark anything else?
What would your advice be to anyone who's thinking about going into refereeing?
My advice would be do it, because I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. Even I must admit, when I first started, I started refereeing Saturdays on the Hearts County League. I was sort of refereeing reserve sections, and I was an assistant referee on the Premier section. But there were times where I went into the dressing room, referee's dressing room, on my own, and I found that very, very hard, because I was used to having 16, 17, 18 players in the dressing room having a laugh and joking with each other, and then I went from that being on my own. But what I would say to anybody, any young person that wanted to become a referee, do it. Take the course, pass the exam, which you will do, and go out and enjoy it, and referee with a smile on your face. It's all about enjoying it, refereeing with a smile on your face, and enjoy and engage with the players. That's the most important thing for me. Because you go out with a smile on your face, you enjoy, you engage with the players, you get that rapport, you get that. It's all about confidence. Whatever we do in any walk of life, it's all about confidence. And you go out there, you referee with a smile on your face, and you have that confidence about you. Your first decision, you get that right, whether it's just a foul, a throw in, a corner kick, or a goal kick. Your whole body stature rises, and you go out there and you referee with a smile on your face. And as I say, you engage with the players, but you must stamp your authority on that game when you get the opportunity. Because if you don't, players will perceive you as a weak referee, and then that's when sometimes the game goes a little bit away from you. Yeah. But the main thing is you enjoy it and you let the players know that who's in charge.
Mm-hmm.
It must be quite daunting, when you start in the Premier League or even the First Division, as it was, to suddenly be surrounded by, mega stars.
Yeah, well, listen, it's all it is. I mean, listen, all it is it's a game of football with different surrounds. That's what it is. You move up through the non-league into the professional game, and but the thing is that them players know you're a new referee.
Yeah.
And it takes a little while for you to establish yourselves, because the players will try it on, and they will know what they can get away with what referee. They know, players know what they can do and what they can't do with certain referees. Referees knew what I was like, and what they would get away with, and what they wouldn't get away with.
Yeah.
When they saw my body language and my facial expressions, they knew that was it.
It's obviously given you, apart from anything else, Mark, from being a good job and everything, and I do, and whatever you get out of it. But it's a fantastic opportunity that even a lot of players wouldn't get to see so many players and interact with so many people in so many different grounds under so many different circumstances, being called up so many times.
Yeah,
and being congratulated as well, So it's a fascinating career. It must be.
Absolutely. I mean, I've engaged. I mean, for me, I always engage with fans, with supporters outside of football. When I go away on holiday or you're out in the shopping mall, they'd always come up to you and ask you about certain things. And for me, I was always engaged with everybody. And I think the main thing to come out of my career is that I think, on the whole, I mean, there's always one or two exceptions, I was liked by the fans, the managers, and the players, and that means more to me than anything else. Cup finals or whatever I did in my career.
Mark,
I found it, heartwarming when I came back from battling with cancer. And I always remember the Birmingham Chelsea game when I walked out. I've got a round of applause from. When I come out to warm up, I've got a massive round of applause from the fans that were in the ground at the time. And, I never forget things like that.
That was obviously a tough time for you,
Oh, yeah, well, very tough, because obviously my wife was diagnosed with leukemia 6 months earlier. Yeah. And then obviously, I was diagnosed with cancer. So it was really tough. And the whole football family came together. We're all one big family, and we mustn't never forget that.
It's nice. You wrote a book, didn't you?
Yes, I did. At the time, it went very well, very well.
So about 10 years ago, was it?
Yeah, 2000. I think the end of 2013, beginning of 2014, it came out. So it went well. Everyone enjoyed it. So yeah, apart from one or two people, but that's what happens, isn't it? That's life. That's life. And I think I'm suffering. I'm still suffering with that for it now, work-wise. So there you go. It's one of those.
And of course, you're a manager now, aren't you?
Yes, I am out in here in Holywell. All those that are tuned in, please follow us on our Facebook page, Holywell Costa Vetrianos. We play here in the Alicante League. We had we lost yesterday 3-2 to a team that's third in the league, Eldense. They've got a team in League Two, and they've got a veteran side as well. But we deserved a draw. We deserved more out of it. So, but listen, that's football. But yeah, I really enjoy. I've gone from playing to refereeing, and now I'm a manager.
I'll tell you what, though, I bet the refs are looking over the shoulders when they see you.
Oh, they certainly know who I am, so I have to behave myself. So,
listen, Mark, thanks ever so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I mean, our group, in our Facebook group. BCFC the project, and also BCFC the project on YouTube. When I mentioned you were going to come on, I've been saying it for a week, because I said to you, didn't I? Weeks and weeks.
Yeah.
And I just, just didn't happen, did it, for ages? But Mark, thanks ever so much, mate. It's great seeing you. And Beck's the business as usual.
It was nice meeting you, Mark. Yeah, it's lovely to meet you.
And you, lovey. I just hope that you don't get 3 points when you come down to Loftus Road.
Of course. Written in the stars, son. Listen, Mark. Have a good evening, mate, and I'll see you soon. Yeah,
take care, everyone. Stay safe and enjoy.
Later, Mark.
Take care. And you, Mark. Take care. Bye.
Take care, lovey. All the best.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.